Hi all, good evening and welcome to the MindMajix training platform where you will have, lot of things to learn. Today I am going to brief you about the company and what all gonna cover in our Pentaho training. So let's get started. Yep. So let me brief you about myself. And I have 8+ years of experience into data warehousing, data mart, ETL solution, and work with various technologies in ETL side: Pentaho, Tableau, Clover ETL, Informatica, Data Stage, Ab Initio. And my expertise is on the Pentaho, Clover ETL, and Tableau. And I have worked with the various MNCs and provided them many solutions based on starting from the scratch to creating the data warehouse and data mart. So the various domain I have worked on, extensively I have worked on banking, healthcare, and e-commerce, and starting and using different tools, and along with the different database like SQL, Oracle, Netezza, and many more. So coming to the main part of the this demo is what would be the scope and how we gonna carry all this session in a future. So basically I will be teaching you Pentaho data integration. That is a one part of the Pentaho company, which integrates, which is an ETL tool called as. And in the ETL tool, it used to initially it used to have kettle, and now they are using the Pentaho data integration tool. So basically what it does is as I say overview. So overview is ETL, that is extract, transform, and load. So what does that extract means? So the extract means we extract the data from the various sources. It could be Excel, it could be a database tables, it could be Hadoop, it could be Amazon S3 file bucket, wherever the source could be anything. Then it come to transform, right? Then the transform means whatever the data you fetch, and then we transform into some business requirement. A small example I give you, like if you have name, address, or last name, and you want so for example you have name as full name in your one column, and you have address. So now the business want that, yeah, I want the last name and first name to be different columns, and I need to store it into somewhere else. Say for example I have the Excel sheet, and previously in some companies they used to maintain a lot of Excel sheet, text, CSV file, and now they are moving up to might be a Hadoop database or any SQL database. So they wanted everything into the table, and they have, for certain requirement, they might have certain junk data which they don't want, or they want the data which is from the last 2 years data. So all kind of business logic which we implement is on it's called the transformation. So basically we play with the data, and while we play it, we transform into such a way so that we deliver whatever the business needs. And once that transformation is done, then it comes to L is load. So yeah, once the transformation is done, we load the data into database or whatever the desired format we have been asked to. So it could be either SQL, Oracle, or maybe it could be the same Excel file or CSV, however they want. Okay, so this all can be achieved through Pentaho data integration tool. And yeah, trust me guys, this Pentaho data integration tool is one of my favorite tool, because it has the capability to make all this process reusable. Like for example, if I have one process saying that I want to remove certain characters from my columns, and this process could be reusable, and my data source could be anything. Today I'm reading from Excel, tomorrow I will be reading from tables. Number of columns varies, everything could vary, but my process remains same. So the beauty of this tool is you can create a tool in such a way, create a transformation in such a way then it can be reused anywhere, like no matter how you read from the data, from wherever you are reading and wherever you are loading, you know, without changing the code, it can be reused. Yeah. So so reading, writing from data integration, overview, all these things I'm gonna cover. Yep. So coming to the course outline, what are the main topic which we gonna cover mostly. So we'll start with the basic. What is the data warehouse? What is data marts? And what is the usage? Where should we use data mart? Where should we use data warehouse? Once that is understanding, then we will once we understood that, then I'll provide you the detail about the how data integration process work. Once that mart is created, the load and the business logic, how we create that, that is very important, right? Because the only to store the data doesn't make any sense unless you make out something from it. And then comes to extracting data. So this extraction of data could be of any source, right? It should not be restricted to single source. If tomorrow you say you are working in some company, they have Excel data. In some company, you go to just the JSON format. Some file you can say ZIP format. So various type of extraction of the data will be covering up. Then comes of cleaning the data. So cleaning, it's as I said, we generally we have junk data which are coming up, and user don't want it, and the management wants the clean report without much noise in the data. So yeah, that's gonna cover it. And then we apply to some business rules. So I have worked on some business rule. I would like to share that rules with you guys, and then you can practice it, and have a hands on it. And then different types of transformations. So if I say transformations, it's just not a loading and writing the data, but it covers lot of components, lot of conditions, and many more things. And then again, coming back to loading data into different formats. So once everything is done, we should be able to load it somewhere, so that business user can see the data or consume that data, whoever the next user would be. Then comes to manage and SQL database using PDI. So that is something you should aware, that how do you manage it. You are not overloading the database. You are not locking the database so that other users should get impacted. And then my favorite part comes is metadata injection. Yeah. So most of the companies use this metadata injection. So as I said, right, the Pentaho has this beautiful feature where they say where we you can create and reusable component which can be clubbed to any process. So if the process is same, and only the target and source are being changed, that can be clubbed, and that that can be achieved without changing the code. You don't have to change the code much, and that could be achievable. So this metadata injection is very very beautiful component, and very very effective. And coming back to course curriculum, so that was the outline, and this curriculum explains you much more into detail, like the transformation, reading, writing, how we gonna read. There are different types of way of reading. How do you store? How do you pipeline the data? Then coming back to transformation, like rows, sequence, values, error handling, error logging. How do you handle error? How do you handle transformation if it fails? And then coming to the databases. Then so each and every curriculum, you can see here, we have lessons and exercises. So I will be teaching you all these things, whatever the lessons. It is like, if I say learning the previous user interface, then creating transformation, then I will give you the exercise where you need to create by your own, so that it would be very much interactive session, and you guys will learn and hands on the specific steps and tools. So that, yeah, it will come in each and every step. So there would not be like I am just talking and you are just hearing. it will be like I will be mostly doing the hands-on. I will be showing you and I'll asking you to do the same replica, and you can apply your logic and come back to me that yeah, David, this is not happening, and how do we achieve this, or this is my requirement, and this is what I have been told to do, and I need to achieve this. So this kind of interactive back and forth session we'll be having, and I will be explaining you each and everything. So till calculation, job orchestration, scheduling part, and the logging part, how do you explore the data, everything would be taken care of. Yes. And coming back to the add-on topic. So this the curriculum was it was the part of your training program. But along with that, what all things gonna include, that would be the next part. So that is the basic of SQL, and how do you populate the SQL, then data mart, and most important thing, interview preparation. So after learning all these things, you might be you might say that yeah, this I can learn, but how it will help me? Because for each and every company, you have different set of interview questions and different set of expectation they have with you. So I will be sharing many interview questions and many business rules which you can once you can apply on Pentaho PDI tool. You can say that yeah, this I have been worked on, and you can easily can able to answer those questions. So once you do all this, complete all this exercise, we will be having a preparation for interviews. So interviews, basically I will be telling you this kind of scenario. So generally in ETL interviews, what the companies does this, they give you the scenarios, and they ask you to how do you achieve that scenario through Pentaho or through a SQL. So you should be aware of all these scenarios, or you should be at least have hands on once, so that you will be able to answer all those questions. So I'll be giving you all those questions, like what kind of scenarios they can ask or they could ask. Then we can take it from there. And yeah, then it comes to more of a practical. Yes, so I will be creating the sample transformations for you guys, and I will be showing how the data is moving through one source to another, and what are the resources which we are using. And mostly my session would be more of a practical rather than going very much theoretical, because theoretical you can read and you can get it everywhere, but when you actually practice, you see lot of problem, lot of errors, lot of things coming up. Yeah, so more our my session would be more of a practical thing, so you can have the hands-on session. Yep. Coming back to the project which I have worked on. So coming so first is the healthcare project, which I have worked extensively and given you the given many two to three healthcare companies, big US companies, a very good solution in terms of ETL. So you can see that that interaction. Sorry, yeah, and I used to understand the business requirement, get get the all the details from different teams, and create the ETL process. So then I understand what kind of things they actually needed. Then I create ETL transformation jobs, and then giving coming back to them that yeah, this is how it's been created, this is all you wanted, this is all data looks like, this and this kind of project in I have handled, like for healthcare I have handled more than 10 millions of records loading at the one go, and lot of issues come. So such kind of business cases I will be explaining to you. Then comes to a finance company. So I have worked with mostly a top five finance companies of the US, banks of the US, where the data security is more taken care of. You need to work in a very close environment. and they expect that data should be very accurate and very consistent, and you should be very much focused on it, whatever they are assigned. Yeah, so I'll be sharing a few use cases of finance companies as well. And yep, so basically to to get used to Pentaho. So this is the basic requirement which you should all be having with you, is once the high speed internet, because it will be interactive session. So I don't want that you are losing the session because of the low internet or poor internet. And obviously a desktop and laptop, either desktop or laptop, you will be needing it with Windows 7 operating system, or above that Windows 8, 10, anything would do. And 500 GB of hard disk memory, 16 gigs, and CPU 4 core, because memory is very much intense, because when you process the high volume of data, it requires a lot of, because it happens on your computer memory. So for as of now, when you are practicing, you can have 8 gigs of memory as well. But when you are dealing with huge amount of data, millions of data, then you at least need 16 gigs of memory. Yes. So after completion of the course, like once you complete all the sessions, and you have done all the practice properly, so we will be having mock interviews, where we will be taking your interviews, and we'll check like how good you are with the concepts, basic concepts, ETL concepts, and where you are lagging. And once that is done, and then the reviews are provided to you, so that you can again, wherever you are wherever you are not that great with that uh, concept, you can again revise that, or if you have anything still you are not able to understand, you can always reach out to me. Yep. And in case if you want to do the certification, so yeah, Pentaho now, Hitachi has take over the company Pentaho. Initially it was just a Pentaho company. So before a couple of years, Hitachi took it over, and then onward, the Hitachi is taking care of it. And in case if anybody wants to do certification, then if they have the Pentaho integration certification, I will be telling you more detail about it, which certification you should be opt for if you want to go with the career into the ETL technologies. And along with that, the MindMajix also provides the certification, a certificate of completion of the course. So you can at least give it to show it, or you can paste it in your profile that yeah, you have done the certification, and you have learned this, and you have worked on this, and this is one kind of certification which you can show it to your which can add value to your actually resume and profile. So this is all from my side. And yeah, thanks for attending the demo. And yeah, I'll be showing you the overview of PDI before closing this session. So yep, let me. Yep. So this is the welcome screen when you start the PDA version. So we will be working on the 9.2 version, which is the recent one in the the latest one which they have launched a couple of months back. So yeah, this is a community edition, so anybody can use it. There is no licensing cost involved in this, unless you go for server. So to develop any jobs, you can use it. This is the open source, and there are a lot of things which can be integrated since it's a low open source. So yeah, I'll go through the simple things where you can have the overview of the this tool. So yeah, so in this tool there are two things which needs to be taken care of. One is the job and the transformation. So the job, so whatever you develop, whatever the business logic, or like I can show you one step. Okay. So here what is saying that what it is saying, I have three kind of different source, and I want to load into one file. So I'll just run it simply, and yeah, so it ran, right? So you can see I have this 10, 23, 10, 100, 20, 1000 data. So I have clubbed them all and loaded into one fine. So this process, when we do any kind of process, that comes under the transformation. But when you say the jobs, so jobs is basically a wrapper of the transformations where you can run as many as transformation in the job. So basically, job is something where you can schedule it, you can track it, you can manage it, lot of transformation at one go. That's where there is a difference. So there are other difference as well in job and transformation. So I will be sharing that in our class. So this is the basic, so in transformation you can, so basically the name itself says, right, transform. So wherever you transform the data, that comes under transformation. And jobs, it says that, yeah, it just manage the transformation and do, the high level managing the job. So this was the first example, basic example. So another you can see is this kind of, this is very complex thing, where you can, where you validate the data. So you can have, yes, this is longer not than maximum, then this all are the business rule, short kind of business rule. Then the string is a correct data type or not. So this all, validation check company, they have in that database where they ask us to perform such various check and give us the proper output. So if I just run this, you will able to see that, yeah, what all steps are passing, what all steps are failing, and all this thing you will be able to visualize it. So if I say correct data type, right, so this is a ABC and this is a 1 2 3, right? So here I am saying, for example, this data type should always be my string. So here I can say string, and this is a validation tool. This says, yeah, this, the coming flow is into data type string, then it should pass it, else it should error it out. See that during the validation the field a found this is the integer different from the expected string. So this kind of validation is a sample code I am showing you. So yeah, and once you go to the design part in the transformation, so coming back to new transformation, if I, so you can see this design part. So in the design part you see lot of folders kind of structure present here. So each has its lot of components. Like if I say input, it says lot, where you want to read. Input generally says input, right, where from where the data is coming. There are a lot of options you available: data grid, CSV, repository, file, XML, S3, and lot more. Then comes to output, like what output you want: Excel output, you want database output, you want JSON output. Then comes to streaming, how do you want to stream the data? Then comes to transformation, how do you want to transform the data? Then a lot of other utilities are there. So I will be covering most of the part which are very much useful and which are actually being used in companies. It's not like I say like, yo, go for each and every component and try it. No, that's not the case, and you cannot do that as well, because each component has its own working nature, and it expects certain kind of data input, where you need to see that if that input actually, if that component actually fulfill your need. It's not you can use all and get the output. So all these folders have different capability to transform the data, but just we need to understand how do we want it, and you can use this it. So in the meantime, you can go through it. You can download it from the Pentaho. The Sound Coach website is there where you can download it. This Pentaho software, and it provides the zip format. You can unzip it, and you can start with the spoon.bat. The spoon.bat, if you start it, you initially you need to set up the Java variable, and once it is, you are ready to go. So yeah, this is all the basic overview of the tool, and let me know if you have any feedback, or if you want to ask me more about it. I would be happy to help. And yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you. Thanks a lot.